Overcome Smurs. What's happening? What's happening, people? Thought I'd do a video today. Rolling down the road, got some errands to run, so I thought maybe I'd jump on here and do a video. I've had some people asking me to start doing daily videos on here. I don't know if I'm gonna do that or not, but I don't have the video editing software that I need, and actually I'm gonna run down to Best Buy right now and see if maybe I can pick some stuff up, possibly, so I can maybe start doing some videos. Because, you know, if it was me, I wouldn't want to sit and watch some dude rambling on and on for freaking 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is, in a video without having it properly edited and whatever. But, you know, then some people don't care, so I guess whatever. It's kind of a, I don't know, man. I've always been kind of a spur of the moment dude, so I have an easier time just kind of winging stuff and figuring out, you know, what I'm gonna say at the moment I'm saying it. So, like, doing a video every day and kind of having that set up is, you have to bear with me probably for a while just to kind of figure out, like, you know, where to start, what to talk about, whatever. I mean, I don't even know. Like, guys are constantly asking me to do videos all the time. Several people messaging me and asking me if I'll start doing like a daily video thing. And I was talking to my buddy John. You guys all know John Roberts. I was talking to him yesterday. He was saying the same thing. I should start doing like a daily deal. So man, this dude right here on this trailer I'm going by has got like about a 20-foot freaking Christmas tree in his truck. That's pretty sweet. Anyways, so, you know, the journey, man, like it's been kind of a wild ride up and down. You know, like, I think we're like, what, day 275 in or something like that. 275 days that I've been doing this. And I don't know, if you would have told me 9 months ago that I would have went without food for 9 months, I'd told you you're freaking insane, because there's no way in hell I could go more than 9 minutes without food before. Like, I just, you know, was eating all the time, constantly hungry, and you know, massive cravings, and was eating shit tons of freaking candy and, you know, pies, donuts, I mean, you name it. I was talking, actually, as a matter of fact, I was talking to John. I was talking to John last night. And we were reminiscing a little bit about some stories that we had, but one of the stories that came up was he had mentioned something about some donuts, and we were talking about donuts. I don't know if you guys that are local here know Henry's Donuts, but they got killer donuts. So, in particular, they got really good apple fritters. So that was like one of my go-to spots, man. I couldn't pass Henry's without freaking rolling in there and getting some donuts. And I'm gonna tell you guys, this is no bullshit. Like, I would literally eat, you know, a dozen donuts. Like, I was freaking just, it's ridiculous. Like, I don't know, man. I you know, everything I've done in life, I've always done to the fullest extent. So, like, I've always had like an addictive personality, I guess is what I would, you know, kind of classify that as, excuse me. I kind of, you know, anything that I do, it's like I'm either on or I'm off. Like, so when I set my mind to something, you know, for instance, like food, you know, instead of rolling into like, you know, McDonald's and ordering something like somebody normal would order, like, you know, one meal or whatever, I was like, well, I'm gonna get two, because I'm gonna need to, and you know, I'll have one for the road. So I'd eat one and have one to go, or maybe sometimes I'd sit there and eat them both. I mean, just insane the amount of food that I used to take in. I bet if I had to put a number on it, I'd say I probably took in, oh man, I'd probably take in 8,000-10,000 calories a day, I bet, you know, and pure garbage. Nothing healthy for me whatsoever. No nutrition whatsoever, just pure garbage. I was living off fast food. I mean, I was single, and it's like, you know, when my kids are only here every other weekend, so, you know, for a while there, I was like, you know, on the weekends they would come, I was eating out all the time too. We'd be out every weekend eating out and eating fast food and whatever. And unfortunately, you know, my daughter kind of, and my son, I guess, you know, both of them started gaining a little bit of weight, but, you know, then I realized, man, I can't be eating out every weekend. I gotta try to reel this back and, you know, start cooking at home and whatever. So I tried to get on a healthy track as best I could, but it was kind of difficult, or it's been kind of difficult just because, you know, their mom is up and down too, as far as, you know, she's like kind of, you know, doing the healthy thing, you know, 1 month and the next month she's kind of off track, so, which I understand fully. But so anyway, long story short, so, you know, like I said, I was eating a lot of fast food, and the kids kind of paid the price for that. They were gaining quite a bit of weight there for a while, and you know, unfortunately some of that's kind of stuck with them. My son's kind of growing out of it. My daughter, she's still struggling a little bit. She's got people making fun of her at school and shit, and it breaks my heart because it's like, you know, that's never what I wanted for her. I didn't ever want her to feel the way that I felt. So you know, I've tried to talk to her and try to, you know, basically just tell her, like, people that do that, make fun of other people and whatever, obviously just feel bad about themselves. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you can say that all you want, but it doesn't really make a difference. It doesn't really change, you know, the feeling of somebody making fun of you or whatever. So we're trying to start going to the gym. I'm going to try to get them on my weekends, start going to the gym all the time now. I know my son's not really interested in doing it, but Dakota seems pretty excited about wanting to go to the gym. We went, like, the last time they were here, we went and worked out a little bit. She seemed to like it, so I'm going to try to get her I sent her a message the other day and told her to pick out a workout outfit, and I'd, you know, buy it, and we can start hitting the gym every weekend. So it's frustrating in a sense, though, because it's like I do that stuff, you know, when they're here, but then they, you know, they go back to their mom's house, and nothing against their mom. I mean, you know, she's struggled also all her life with weight up and down and stuff. When I met her, she was like 155 pounds, and, you know, we kind of, through our marriage, kind of had our ups and downs and weight and stuff. But, and then, like, you know, of course, when we got divorced, she lost pretty much all of her weight, and now I just seen her recently for the first time, and she's like, for the first time in a long time, and she's put back quite a bit of that weight. So, you know, they're on the healthy track sometimes, her and her husband and whatever. They're kind of like, they'll be on the healthy track, then off and whatever. So anyway, like, you know, basically kind of rambling on, but the point is that it's hard to stay on a, like, you know, it's hard to stay on a program with your kids when, like, they go out to their moms and they're totally off track. Like, you know, last year Dodge was working out real hard with Angelo, and I was super proud of him because he'd made, like, massive gains in, like, 3 months' time. It was last year or the year before. Maybe it was the year before. No, I think it was last year anyways, whatever. But he made, like, really big gains, and, you know, then, of course, went back to his mom's house, and you know, once he settled back in for the school year, kind of got off track with the working out and stuff. And, you know, his mom, I tried to see if she'd meet me halfway. We live about an hour apart, so I was trying to see if she'd meet me halfway. I'd pick him up, take him to the gym, or even sometimes I said I'd just come down and pick him up, take him to the gym or whatever. So, but it never worked out, so he got off track, and now he's pretty off track, and now I'm having a hard time trying to get him to go back at the gym again. So I'm hoping maybe, like, you know, just gonna basically drag his ass with me to the gym, and kind of hope that maybe he kind of catches the bug again and wants to start working out. So, but anyways, you know, like, every day has been a struggle. You know, the juicing part of it's been really easy, man. That's been a piece of cake for me. You know, I kind of blows my mind because I know everybody that I've talked to, like, you know, I go to these different group sites and stuff and juicing pages, and I talk to people on there, and I see the people that are posting, and they're talking about, like, they're, you know, day 3, and they're having headaches, and they're sick, and they're having diarrhea, and they're having, you know, this, that, and the other thing. And, like, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know, I didn't experience any of that, so I don't know what I'm doing differently than, you know, other people are doing, but I've been very fortunate, I guess, in that aspect, that I haven't had to deal with any of that. And, you know, it's been pretty easy rolling through. I mean, when I say easy, I'm talking about, like, the food part of it's been easy, which I would have thought that would have been a lot harder, because the way I was eating before, I was almost, you know, 98% certain that I had a food addiction. And, you know, as I'm going along through this process now, I'm starting to realize that I don't think that was the case at all. I think that I was just full of a lot of excuses, and I didn't want to put forth the effort to change my life, and just was kind of in a dark spot, and just didn't really give a shit about what was going on. And you know, so I just kind of kept using that for an excuse, and it made it, you know, it made it okay to go out and overeat, and then tell everybody, well, you know, I have to eat. I've you know, that's how I deal with my problems, whatever. Which, you know, it was how I dealt with, you know, my issues. I mean, anytime what I've realized here most recently is that when I was happy, I ate. When I was sad, I ate. When I was stressed out, I ate. When I was, you know, excited about something, or, you know, something happened, like a reward, it was like, oh man, let's, you know, here's an example. You know, so I'd go to the gym, and I'd say, oh yeah, my goal is to lose 20 pounds. I'd drop 20 pounds. I'd be like, oh man, let's go celebrate. Let's go have some freaking dinner. Like, you know, like, let's go to a restaurant and celebrate with a, you know, big, huge, freaking fatty cheeseburger and fries and a milkshake. So that was the mentality. That's the mentality I was rolling on for a long time. And, you know, I don't know. I haven't had any issues like that. I've been trying to, like, work through the process in my head and work through everything mentally in my head and see, you know, kind of like trying to dissect really what was going on there. Like, what was it that, you know, kept me eating all the time? Was it, you know, was it actually because I just couldn't control myself and I just had an addiction? Or, you know, was it truly that I just was making, you know, piss poor choices? Which I'm leaning more towards the fact that I was making piss poor choices. So, you know, almost 9 months later, I'm down 300 pounds, man. Like, it's crazy to me. And I'll tell you what, the number that's been eluding me for years and years now has been getting down into the 300s. I haven't been down in the 300s for a really long time. And it's probably going to be a pretty emotional thing when I see that number on the scale for the first time, that I'm in the threes somewhere, because, you know, back in 2002, when I met my wife, I was basically 280, pretty solid muscle back then, but, like, you know, a few years down the road, I gained a lot of weight, and we kind of, like, struggled that up and down, but I never, you know, I haven't seen the 300s in a long time anyway, so that's going to be that was one of my milestones. One of my big goals I have for myself was, you know, get out of this, you know, basically almost sevens, right? Sixes, fives, through the fours, get down to the threes. So pretty excited about it. I'm actually rolling down to the doctor's office right now. I'm going to go weigh in just because I'm not convinced that the gym scale's right. I weighed in one day at 406, the next day I was 410. That has to be water weight because I'm not doing anything differently, and I've been consistently losing, you know, a pound or so a day. So your body obviously, you know, fluctuates on weight up and down, water weight. So, you know, I try not to. For a long time, I was pretty reliant on the scale. You know, constantly weighing myself all the time, and it was really screwing my head and stuff. So I've really tried in this process this time around not to weigh in as much. I've, you know, kind of gone at least a month or so in between weigh-ins, but here more recently, I've, you know, I think what's happening is I'm getting so close to that 300s, that I'm like more focused on it. So I've been weighing in a little bit more often. So I'm trying to, I've made my mind up. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to weigh in. Whatever that scale says down here today is where I'm going to leave it. And then I'm not going to weigh in again for however long to make sure that, you know, I'm not jumping on another scale that's telling me something different. And then I was kind of frustrated the day I weighed in when it said 410, when the day like previous it said 406. So, or 2 days previous it said 406, but I knew there was no possible way that could be, you know, at least I hope there's no possible way that could be accurate. So it had to have been water weight. I drank a lot of water, you know, a gallon of water, and I had my juices and stuff, so that had to play into it. Plus, I was working out. I had two heavy t-shirts on, and both of them were pretty sweaty, so like that's gonna add a little extra weight and whatever. So anyway, feeling fairly confident I'm gonna go down here and see a pretty decent number. So anyways, with that said, listen guys, I don't know, man, it's hard to know what to talk about doing these videos, and that's why I have a hard time doing videos, because that's like I don't really know what to talk about, and I don't want you guys to get bored out of your minds listening to me. So I just want to say, like, the biggest thing about this entire process for me, like, you know, I don't want people to get the wrong impression. I never started that group because I want like, you know, a bunch of freaking fame and fortune and whatever, man. That wasn't what it was about for me. I'm not gonna lie though. Hey, listen, if I can get my story out there, you know, if I can lose, you know, 300 pounds in less than a year, maybe even, you know, depending on the year ain't over yet. So let's see where we land before the year's over. But, you know, if I can take off over 300 pounds in a year's time, you know, and in my mind, that's a pretty freaking incredible thing. You know, I don't know a lot of people. I'm not saying there ain't people out there that have done it. So I don't want to put myself out there like I'm the only one that's accomplished that. But I'm just saying, you know, to my knowledge, you know, I know there's probably other people who have done what I've done and more. But, you know, I'm pretty proud of the fact that I've, you know, stayed juicing for a year, or I'm stayed juicing for 9 months, but I have full intentions of going a year. There's no reason why I would stop juicing now. And I'm proud of what I've accomplished in the short amount of time that I've been doing this. And, you know, I'm proud of the fact that we've got like so many awesome people in this group, and we're getting new people daily that are jumping in, that have seen, you know, like posts somehow, or other people have mentioned it to them, or whatever the deal is, and they've, you know, wanted to jump on board. You know, people from the gym that have spotted me and talked to me in there that want to jump on board, like they, you know, told me, man, that's really awesome, like what you've done. Like there was 2 guys the other day when I was in the sauna, came in and like we just got to talking, and you know, kind of told them what I was doing and what I was going through, and like, you know, kind of a little bit of my history and whatever. And one of the guys said his mom was really struggling to lose weight, has diabetes, and, you know, like she's tried every diet known to man and couldn't really make any results or whatever. So he asked if he could, you know, get on the group page, maybe some of that would help her. So, you know, there's just those kind of things. So at the end of this whole thing, when I lose the weight, like it ain't over when the weight's lost, because I've got a long ways to go yet. I know I'm gonna have to have some skin removal surgeries, I'm sure. Like, I don't know, some things are tightening up pretty good as we're going along. Other things are starting to show signs of loosening up a little more than I'd like. So, you know, I get a little concerned about that. I worry about, you know, having a bunch of excess skin when this is over with. And, you know, I know everybody says, well, you can't worry about that, you just got to keep moving through. Well, let me tell you something. I fully understand what you guys are saying, and I respect what you're saying, but I'm going to tell you, man, that's a lot easier said than done, because, you know, when you commit to something and you do what I've done for as long as I have, and I swear to you guys, I'll say it again, because I constantly get questioned by people, you know, have you really gone without doing any food? Have you really gone, and have you really done this for 9 months without cheating, whatever? You know, on my life and everybody that I know, I have never cheated on this thing one time, not one single time. You know, I was in a dark place 8 months ago. I woke up, you know, I had like kind of like a, you know, I'm not going to call it a breakdown, but my mom can tell everybody about it. If she listens to this, you know, she can tell you guys, man, it was ugly, and I was kind of really struggling, you know. So I kind of like was bawling, and just like I didn't care if I was alive or dead, and, you know, like I just decided, man, it was like I woke up the next day with a different attitude, and I'm like, dude, you got to do something here, man. This ain't you. This is not who you are as a person. You got to find that guy. I was that guy. I've always been that guy all my life that had a lot of willpower. If I set my mind to something, there was no stopping me. I was going to accomplish it. And, you know, I had guts for days. I mean, I would take on any freaking challenge. I would do anything. Like, I just, you know, I wasn't scared of anything. And then somewhere along the way, that guy got lost. I buried that guy away somewhere. I let my mind take over. I said in a video yesterday or the day before, you know, from the gym, I said, no longer am I going to allow my mind to dictate to my body. Well, that's not quite exactly what I meant. What I meant to say was, like, you know, my mind was overpowering my willpower, and I just made that choice, man, to take back control of my mind, to control my body, because there's no diet plan that's going to do anything for you until you fix your mind. I'm just here to tell you that. Okay, I'm not. I've been on every diet known to man. I've done the Atkins. I've done keto. I've done paleo. I've done. I mean, the list goes on and on. I've tried so many different diets, right? And, you know, I would lose weight. I would always lose weight. I've always been really good at losing weight. I can take weight off really quickly. I don't know what it is, but I burn a massive amount of calories. I mean, I do know what it is. You know, the mass, you know, takes a lot to fuel the mass. So you gotta naturally you're going to burn a lot of calories, but I burn, according to, the doctor and the nutritionist, I burn a massive amount of calories, more than even most people that would be, my size. So, I mean, I'll burn 8,500, 9,000 calories a day easily, just moving around. So, but, naturally I'll probably burn 3,500 calories in a day, just naturally, that's what it takes. That's the energy it takes to run, the mass that I had. So, anyways, so, I decided to tell myself, like, I woke up that next day and I was like, man, I'm done with this, man. Like, I got to do something here. So, my mom, we got the juicer ordered up, and it took, like, it was about 5 days, I guess. I think it took about 5 days. So I think it was from the time that I had that, kind of a breakdown deal, it was about 4 or 5 days after that when I officially started, which I put out the video the night before, me and Dakota trying the juicer out for the first time. And then I put out that video, was meant to be a joke, like not a joke. I wasn't taking my situation, for granted, but I'm saying, like, I wanted to put something out kind of funny, as just for myself. So I put that out to the group, and it was funny, like, nobody really ever commented on that video either. So I don't know if people thought, oh man, he's making light of his situation, or what the deal was. Hey, that's just me, man. Like, I try to go into everything with some sort of lightheartedness. Like, you can't be all uptight all the time or whatever. Like, I know what I need to do. Okay, I know who I am as a person. I know full well what I need to accomplish, and I know what I need to change, and so I'm working on all those things. But like, I started this deal and I didn't know how it was going to go, and I was like, man, I'm gonna do this no matter what. There's nothing that's going to stop me. And I was a little bit nervous because I'd heard all the horror stories about people that had juiced, and, like, how they felt, and they were feeling like crap, and this and that and the other thing. And I know for me in the past, when I've been on any kind of diet before, I was kind of like the same way. If I didn't feel good or whatever, it was a perfect excuse to get off of it and do something different. Perfect excuse. So I would use that as an excuse. I'm like, oh man, yeah, it wasn't working for me. I was feeling sick. I was having diarrhea. I was this, that, and the other thing. And I don't mean to be, I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm not trying to say, you guys are, making a bunch of excuses out there. But let's face it, man, like, at the end of the day, most people don't want to admit the fact that they're just making excuses. So, there's a lot of people that make a lot of excuses, and I was full of excuses. Like I said in that video, I was full of 700 pounds worth of excuses. Okay, I had massive amount of excuses why I couldn't do something. Why can't you go to the gym and exercise? Oh, I'm too heavy. I got a bad knee. I don't feel good. I'm too tired from sleep apnea. On and on and on. I mean, I could go on for days about the excuses that I used of why I couldn't do something. So, anyways, point I'm trying to make is that I just made the decision for myself, and if I decide, what, I'm done with this, I'm moving on. I'm going to change this. I went through a divorce. It was three long, nasty years. And, like, going from having my kids and seeing my kids, put them to bed, waking up with them, like, sitting down having dinner with them, all that stuff, to seeing them 4 days a month, like, it really freaking screwed me. It really screwed me up bad, like, for a long time. Like, I was really freaking struggling, and, there again, instead of trying to become a better person and trying to be better and, like, fighting, and I fought for the kids for the 3 years, but I'm saying, like, instead of trying to be the best dad I could be and get my health in order and lose my weight and all this stuff, I just kind of, like, crawled into a big freaking jar of self-pity and just kind of stayed there for a long time, basically 9 years worth of feeling sorry for myself and freaking wishing that, I was still with my wife and kids and this and that and the other thing. And, so I went through all that, and I just, like I said, I just decided, like, man, you gotta change this, because this isn't who you are, and you gotta start being a better person and being the best, best version of you can be. And, start being a better dad and stuff, and start being, just a, better, person in general. So anyways, so that's kind of the deal. I've really worked really hard at this, and I just want to tell everybody out there that I've really super freaking appreciated all the support from you guys. I mean, that's been a huge thing for me going through the whole process, is having all the support from you guys. you know, and, you know, back to what I was originally saying about this page and why I started. I started it because I wanted to be able to be inspired by people, you know, and have some support. And then if I can inspire other people going through the process, then that was awesome. So, you know, I seem to have a lot of people reaching out and saying that they're inspired by my story, which is awesome. You know, I would ask you guys to please, you know, if you're willing and you can, reach out to whoever you can get your hands on and get my story out there. I want to, you know, when this is all said and done, I would love to be able to, like, you know, fly around and go talk to other people and meet people and you know, just share my story with them and see if I can help other people in some way, you know, that have struggled and don't, like, you know, they feel like they're lost, they don't know what to do or where to start or whatever. So this dude's like sitting here cutting me off. That's awesome. So anyways, but just, you know, hoping that the story will help others that have struggled, because I know I've talked to a lot of people here lately. They're just kind of like in a bad spot, man. They're just kind of like really struggling, and, you know, don't know what to do, and they're not sure where to start and whatever. So so if you guys would just share, you know, share it, tell the story. You know, I know all you guys got to know people, and, you know, like, there's got to be plenty of people out there that need help, right? So let's bring them in. Let's get them to the page. I mean, you know, if you're struggling in life, there's got to be people that you know immediately in your, you know, surroundings that are struggling in life. So let's try to get them on board and see how many people we can help, you know. Maybe there's plenty of other people in this group that are doing amazing things that can reach out and you know, share their journeys as well and kind of help everybody out. So, all right, anyways, I just pulled into the doctor's office. I'm gonna go in here and get weighed real quick. I'll try to pause this video and then maybe I'll give you guys a quick update on my weight, and I'll talk to you in a bit.